What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, as always, Nick and Xavier. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the 185-pound division. We're going to be talking about middleweight. Over the weekend, Sean Strickland defeated Fluffy Hernandez. We're going to talk about that, what it means for 185. We're going to talk about Khamzat, all that. We'll touch on the rest of the card a little bit also at the end of the video. Let's start at the main event, guys. Sean Strickland gets a TKO victory over Fluffy Hernandez in the third round, stemming from a body shot by a knee. We all picked Fluffy. We all ate our words. What did you guys see out there on Saturday?
Oh man. First of all, hats off to Sean Strickland, man. People keep counting this man out. People have been counting him out his whole career, and he keeps coming up with that fucking Philly show and whooping people's ass with a jab and a teep. God bless the man. Um, I thought that early on, I thought that Fluffy, he was doing okay in the boxing. I think he had a pretty good second half of round one. But I think pretty early on, like Sean's awkward style was kind of like puzzling him a little bit. I feel like Sean Strickland like tends to like lull people into fighting at his little pace. People like are kind of like staring at him a lot, and because like his style is not very damaging, it doesn't really promote urgency in his opponents. I feel like a lot of the time, um, because it's like, damn, oh, I'm eating a teep a little bit, like a. They don't even look like the hardest teeps though. Like they're like, kind of medium teeps and like jabs. So it's nothing that like on its own kind of feels like, oh shit, like I just got hit with some power. Let me like shoot this takedown with all my might, or like I need to change something. You know what I mean? Sometimes like that, I need to change something. This is not really going my way. Feeling is like good for a fighter, Because like sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to change the phase of the MMA. Maybe it's like, damn, I'm not like liking this striking. Let me get into the clinch. Let me wear on a guy a little bit. And I thought that because like Strickland's offense is like not that damaging, like a lot of the times like he's just winning these rounds, bro. Like not even damaging his opponents that much, but by the time like you get popped in the nose with like 15 jabs. Now your nose is kind of full of blood. You get popped in the eye with 15 jabs. Now your eye's starting to get beat up and shit. You know what I mean? Even though you don't feel like he's hurting you that much with any single strike, it adds up. And then it's like, okay, boom, now he can open up once you start getting a little tired, once you start getting a little sloppy. Like, now he's gonna open up with some power shots. And hats off to him, man. Like, I feel like he's just molded his style a little bit over time, a little bit over time, a little bit over time, developed it a little bit more, like to where I feel like now this seemed like a much more like offensive version of his style than I've seen in some of his past fights. Um, that could just be like he wasn't really respecting the power of Fluffy. But I thought his output looked great here. Um, Yeah, man. I'm really impressed with Strickland, man. I can't say enough about his performance. I don't want to like shit on Fluffy as much as I want to just praise Strickland, because I don't think that Fluffy fought his best fight, but I think that's just more because of Strickland's style, like was just giving him problems in there. Like he's kind of hard to take down and like hard to get a hold of, really. So shouts out to Strickland, man.
Definitely an impressive performance Saturday. Knocked out probably the hottest contender in the division easily. Um, and did it pretty easily, I thought, throughout the fight. Got the jab going early. You know, as much as I do want to praise Sean, kind of, I still think he loses like Khamzat, DDBs of the world. Like, it was an impressive performance. But I don't get what Fluffy was doing. Like, I almost felt like he was playing Sean's game more than he needed to make it dirty. And I felt
Exactly.
like he never did that really. Like, when he did try to shoot, I felt like he was coming from distance and Sean easily was circling out the whole time, basically. And I felt like Fluffy just needed to change the angles up and crash into him more. Kind of like what I feel like he's done his whole career for real. But, either way, though, I thought Sean's movement was great. It might have stifled some of that. But at the same time, I don't know. I thought Fluffy kind of had an off day, honestly. Not saying he would win in a rematch, but I thought he would have done a lot better. The more surprising thing I think is the fact he got finished. Uh, he got stunned pretty early on in the first round of that fight, and then later on with the body kick or the knee to the body, and then from that point on, it was pretty over. And impressive finish by Strickland. I'll give it to him. I didn't expect him to win this fight. Um, but he got it done. So huge win. I think a disastrous loss for Fluffy though. Absolutely disastrous.
Yeah, before we move on to the Hamzat stuff, what's next for Strickland? Let's touch on Fluffy a bit. Now, a lot of people that picked Strickland, they were completely right. Fluffy or Strickland is by far the hardest guy Fluffy has fought. The kind of the matchup things they favored Strickland, but we all picked him and other people just because we thought, like you said, Nick, he's the hottest prospect in 185. Like it's just an eye testing, a style thing. But Sean proved us wrong. Are you guys worried at all for Fluffy and his future? Do you still think he can fight for a belt in the future? What do you guys think?
I think that I have a couple of thoughts on this, man. One, like I don't know what's to Fluffy's like soggy body, bro. But this shit keeps fucking. He has a soy body, and it
He's
keeps
skinny fat. Yeah.
fucking him over with these knees to the body, bro. Like Holland got him a couple years ago with that, and it's like the same blueprint like happened again. And I just don't know, like with that being such a clear like deficiency, I don't know if like he can protect that body against the best guys, especially like the more that it just gets known, like. Because at his best, he's going to have to crash into you and like, munge you up, muck up the game, make it dirty. You know what I mean? Make it a war, make it a dogfight. And I just feel like with him having to crash in all the time, like those knees are gonna just be there for people. And I'm not gonna sit here and say like how old is he? Like 31, 30,
I think he's 32.
32. I mean, so it's not like he doesn't have time in the sport, like. But I will just say one of the biggest reasons I favored him in this fight is because I didn't think that Sean had the power to make Fluffy respect him and like kind of get off the pressure. And Sean was really rocking his ass too, to be honest. Like I said, it wasn't accumulation off the jabs and shit, and then like mixing in the power punches and shit. But like it wasn't one shot booms, but it definitely was like he got rocked with a couple where it's like Sean is not a hard puncher, and like if that was a DDP punch, like that's bad news for him, man. I don't know how his durability, like I'm having durability questions now. You know what I mean? Now, if the fight is going his way, I think he can still have some success, but he might have just peaked out, to be honest. Like he might be stuck right where he is because if you can't beat Strickland, like the Nasruddin fight will be a little interesting just in terms of like I think Nasruddin probably has worse takedown defense than Sean and probably is way more susceptible to like end up in the clinch a little bit more. Where Fluffy might have a little bit of a better time. Well, I mean, not a little bit because he didn't get shot down at all. So he might have a easier time getting Nasruddin down. So that could be interesting. But I don't like. I'm having a hard time seeing him beating a DDP or definitely not beating a Hamza. So he has to get back to the drawing board. I don't know if he could make welterweight because he does seem to have a lot of fat on his body. I don't know if it will fuck his cardio up or what, ruin his game. But I just do think that like he might have peaked out at 4 here, like off what I just seen.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. Honestly, I think just the fact that for the most part he got shut out 3-0, got finished, is something I just never expected. And it's like enough of a win, low key, to maybe give Strickland the title shot versus Khamzat, I think. It was that big of a statement. So it's just a tough loss for him. I think, like, based on what I saw, he just needs to, like, I think, just get a slightly better striking game if he wants a chance. Because it's like, clearly, after, like, I know Sean has good takedown defense, but let's be for real here. DDP took him down with ease. And I don't think we're acting like DDP is this like elite wrestler out there. At least not as credible as like a Fluffy Hernandez. So
The
like
one thing I will say about that though is like
in his size, he's just a little small, I think.
I would say Fluffy for like his wrestling has never really been that much like explosive base. Like it's not like collegiate wrestling. It's way more like grindy grinder type, grind you to the ground, push you against the cage and like kind of grind you down. DDP is way more like explosive, grab the legs, lift you up, slam you takedowns. You know what I mean? Fluffy's not like picking people up and slamming them until they're already gassed, really. So to be fair, like it's kind of a different kind of explosive takedown. You know what I mean? Like,
But you
I,
would say before this fight, he was the better wrestler of the two, no?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I still think he is the better wrestler. Like in terms of like if they're in scrambles and like if they're clinched up and just like wrestling around, maybe. But I'm just saying like the way DDP was getting Sean down in my memory was way more like not off the clinch. It was just like
Yeah.
double legs and shit. You know what I mean? I'm saying Fluffy's not shooting double legs. He's not like athletic takedowns. Like even when he was trying to get Strickland down, like the two takedowns I remember, he was like he had hoisted the leg and was just trying to like leverage him down, you know. And Sean was just not going for that, you know, because I don't think Fluffy has like the raw physicality to like muscle these guys around. It's just more of a cardio, wearing on guys, beating on them, like relentless pressure thing, you know. So I will say like DDP was able to get Strickland down, but like I just do think that he has a different style of wrestling that like kind of I think you can aggressive Strickland to the ground. Like that's why I think Hamza has no will have no problems like getting him down because you can pick him up. You just can't probably grind him down to the cage like against the cage as easily.
I mean, I feel you, but why didn't Fluffy go for like single legs, like anything down there? Like I've seen him go for these kind of things. I feel like he was just kind of I mean, he was having trouble for sure, but I thought he was supposed to be this very good wrestler that has always had success in that area, and I just had him at a higher standard. But based on that fight, DDP is the better wrestler of the two. I think he would be stronger as well, and I think that size makes a huge difference for Fluffy here. I agree. I think maybe he should go. I don't think he should go down yet, but like I don't really know if you want to try to get him back up quick, have him fight DDP, I guess.
My only thing of saying go down is like he does very clearly carry a lot of body fat into the cage. So it's like I don't know if like there is a more muscular version of him that could be like kind of healthy at welterweight. I wouldn't say go down if it's gonna like deplete him and shit and make him not like have no cardio and shit. But I will just say like he's like he's leaving a lot of fat on, and I'm like if you can go down to welterweight like he could whoop like a Sean Brady, you know what I mean? Like he could at least, at bare minimum at welterweight. I feel like he's at bare minimum he's Sean Brady level, you know? Like with his wrestling and grappling and like he's a better striking Sean Brady. So it's like I could see more success down there. Like what happens if he gets a hold of like a Morales type shit? You know, what happens if he even if he grabs Ian Gary and whoops on him? Like, who knows? Like, I don't know. I just see like a easier path for him to a title shot at welterweight if like if he can be like somewhat similar of a fighter. Because I'm like I just don't see you getting past a DDP or a Hamza. So it's like the best of two bad options for him. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, they're all screwed with DDP and Khamzat up there. One of them needs to lead the division, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, speaking of which, we can just segment into that right now a little bit. Like, I've been hearing some chirps and rumors, guys, like about a couple of things, man. For one, I'm hearing rumors of Hamza going up to a 205 to face Yuri for a vacant title. I'm hearing Pereira is they're looking at Pereira going up to fight Gon. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, that would create a whole vacuum at middleweight and like give the division a little bit more life, like for a second at least. Hamza did say he will come back down. Like he's not like it's not a permanent move, but he was just like he just wants to become a double champ and then he'll do whatever, you know what I mean? Like he just wants that like for his legacy while he's at his prime and knows he can do it probably. And then he'll settle into like whatever the UFC wants from him. But he also said one thing that was very interesting, and I respect it. He was like, I'm not one of these guys that wants to like who cares about like retiring undefeated and shit and wants to like protect my like and shit. Like he's like, I want to like get in here and like take these chances and like, you know what I mean? Like basically like he's not so concerned with like staying undefeated that he's gonna try to pick and choose like good matchups. Like he's trying to like go for it all. Like maybe he's like maybe I'll go up to heavyweight one day. Like who knows? Like I want to just do shit, you know? And I respect that. Like he's like damn near like a high level cowboy, you know what I mean? Like high level fucking BMF, like any way, anytime, any place, and I fuck with that. Like so, I'm usually not pro people just winning the belt and then like jumping around divisions and shit. I kind of on paper would rather him like have a decent little middleweight reign and establish himself there first. But as long as he's saying he's gonna come back down, like I wouldn't be mad if he like went for some history. Like fuck it. And I think that that would also like reinvigorate a DDP and a Strickland even because I don't see anyone having a chance in the division with Khamzat up there.
Well, I'm pretty I'm pretty sure Dana White in the press conference after Saturday, he said he's gonna have Hamzat stay at 185, but the Pereira shit, he said if he wants to move up, he can move up. So I think at least for now we're gonna get Hamzat at 85.
Okay.
But I do know what you're saying about like he definitely could move up in the future. But yeah, Dana White's exact words were like Alex Ferreira. He's one of those guys where like he's earned the right to like he wants to come and do something. We'll work with him. That's what he said. Hamzat, I think he just wants him to stay at 85 for now. So on that note, at 185, if Hamzat stays, Sean Strickland just got this huge dub. But even up until Saturday night was the kind of the guy everyone shoot him for the title fight at 185. Does Saturday night change anything for you guys and the UFC?
I still think that you just give it to Nasruddin. If it's because my only thing is this: if Hamzat was vacating, Sean does have like not too long ago a win over Imanov. So it's like by that token, like, but then it's like if you're gonna run DDP, you're not gonna run DDP Sean for the vacant title, and you're not gonna run um Sean Imavov. So like really it would have to be either DDP Imanov or it would have to be Sean Imanov. You know what I mean? Like someone's
Yeah.
gonna have to be the odd man out just because of like how their history, how these guys have all rock paper scissors for each other. But with Hamza up there, I think that it's a lot more straightforward in terms of like you just gotta give Imanov the next shot. Um, he is the most deserving contender, and beating Bohio, like we've kind of like it kind of took a lot of the shine off his name, but like that was a big win at the time, like and it still is like that was a fight that we were kind of looking at like the winner deserves a title shot. And he did win that fight pretty handily. So I think that Imavov, as long as Hamzat is the champion, is the next like deserving contender.
Um, Saturday night changed a lot for me, but I still would give it to Imanov because that was basically promised as a title eliminator. And just because
Facts.
Hamzat's taking his sweet time to come back to the octagon doesn't mean that Sean Strickland getting this. It shouldn't change anything. It should just put him next, like, and he could just wait for it. But I still would give it to Imavov, but I will say Sean's performance was way more impressive to me than Imavov's versus Ohio. Imavov was good in that fight, but I think I was just more surprised by Sean's, and he got the finish. But it should be Imavov. Um, I mean, look, Sean won't have to wait very long. That fight's gonna end in about 248, like something in that range. So,
Man, I don't know, man. Hey, win quick or not? Like Hamzat, the way his schedule's set up, bro. I don't know, bro. He might have to wait a while, bro. Anyway, just because like Hamzat clearly be taking good time between his fights, bro. Like no matter what, it's like yeah, he'll run through someone and like be out for like 10 months for no reason.
No facts. But I was about to say, I do agree with you guys. I think Ivanov should get it, but I'm a little surprised. A lot of people in the media and stuff, oh, Sean Strickland, all the controversial stuff that comes with Sean. It does add to the promotion. That Hamzat and him apparently have a lot of history in the gym and all that. The trash talking would be insane. And like and he does have a win over Ivanov Strickland. And you just look at the two in terms of personality. One is clearly going to sell and do a lot more. So you guys don't think that's enough to validate him jumping Ivanov?
that's close.
If they did it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cry for Imavov. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cry for him because I mean, like, it's not like he knocked Ohio out, really. So it's like this again. Like sometimes we've seen it a million times. At the end of the day, take everything else out, but like all the promotional shit you were just talking about, which is like obviously a factor in terms of the UFC, but take all of that out, and like we've seen it where like a more impressive finish can jump another fight. Like if that makes the fans like more so clamor for you to fight for the title, that's what's gonna happen. You add on the history and the trash talk, and like maybe Hamzat's like, you know what? Fuck it, give me this fucker. Like he's talking shit. Like what's up? And Hamzat seems like very much that kind of guy. Like
Yeah.
if you poke the bear, he will be like down to answer that challenge. So like I can see it.
And the shit talking between those two, it's like crazy. It's like very personal. It gets a little ugly, which, it's fun to watch unless it goes too far. But with and kind of like what you guys just touched, Hamzat taking all this time in between fights. Shit, if I only get a handful of more Hamzat fights, I obviously rather see Strickland than Imanov, even though it's not deserving. But that's just from the UFC's viewpoint. Anything else on this fight, guys, or 185 in general? Oh, does that performance by Strickland uh change at all how you think him and Hamza would go? Because he did finish Fluffy and kind of dominated him. That was
No,
very impressive.
it doesn't change a damn thing
Okay.
actually for me. But it
Yeah.
does make me it does reaffirm like my belief in where Strickland still is. Cause I don't know. A lot of like the mental shit, it kind of seemed like his mind was out of the game. That's also a big reason I was so confident in Fluffy. It just seemed like he was more game. Like Sean Strickland's been saying some shit about fighter pay and like this and that. Like it just seemed like his head was kind of out of it. Recently. Like I don't know. I just didn't know what kind of a Strickland I was gonna get. And he came in there in fantastic shape. Um Looked like he had a little bit more power than I'm used to him having in there and like shit, like really whooped Fluffy's ass. So shout out to him. Like it really like reestablished him as like a contender, to me. Because I was kind of like settling him mentally in as like a gatekeeper role. But like now I'm like, okay, he's still in that top three, deservingly so.
Hamza will get me 5 points in about 201 in the fight. I mean, I don't see how it changes anything, to be honest. Sean can talk all he wants on the mic about how he used to make Hamza quit when they trained together. But guess what, buddy? That was a little bit ago. And did you not just see what he did at DDP? The dude who beat you twice? Like, come on, bro. We know what it is.
All right, though, guys, let's look at the rest of UFC Houston. It was a pretty eventful card, a lot of big finishes. I guess we could just start at the co-main. Eros Medic absolutely slumped dump Jeff Neal, unfortunately. Great performance, but man, it was an ugly knockout. That's two really bad KOs for Jeff Neal in a row. What are you guys' thoughts on Medic's dub?
I think that Neil's cooked, man. That's what I think. Shout out Euros Medic, man. He looked fantastic out there. Looked really quick, very early on. The hand speed was very apparent. He looked a little bit faster at this phase in the game. I did think that Neil was just gonna have a power edge, but it never really got going because he got starts before he could really start landing himself. Like there wasn't too much like landing clean up until that point, I guess on either side. Like yeah, total strikes is 3 to 10. Like so really like the first like real bomb I really put him the fuck down and just like that's just it, you know. There goes the story of Jeff Neal, bro. I just feel like that was he was like ranked what 12th in the division, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, yeah, I think that he should be out of the ranks at this point.
Hey, we all called it Loki. It was a very popular pick uh for Neil. It felt like he actually finished as a more sizable dog than I or favorite than I thought he would be. I kind of felt like this was an upset victory weirdly because I feel like if it but the reason we picked Medic, I think, because we all just knew that Chin is just no more for Jeff Neal and Medic he can smack, man, and I think the wars are just getting to Jeff. It's just too many, and I think now it's if they put him against very hard hitting boxers like kickboxers, I think he's gonna start losing a lot more. But I don't think it's game over. It's game over of top five, like stuff like that. But at this point, just be the gatekeeper outside. It's all good. And a decent career, so
Yeah, for sure. Fun fighter.
that's the loss. That's what the loss means for sure. Just
Yeah. Did you guys see who Medj called out?
yeah, you told
No.
me, who would you tell me? It was what's his face?
Called out Leon. Called out Leon for a main event in the summer. That's a fun matchup.
It's a good call out. I don't know if they would run him. I'm
Good
still
call out,
not
man. I love
I'm not a big believer in Medic still, but I do I need to see it. I thought Soriano just knocked him out recently. I still feel like you got a little to prove to me, but it could be too big of a step. I think Leon might win that low key.
I mean, Leon should fucking win it, to be honest. Like, there's still a big jump between Jeff Neal and Leon Edwards in terms of technical striking and shit. But I will just say, am I positive that he wins that shit? Like, we don't know where he's at either, man. He can get slumpy dumped too. Like, it's really bad, man. Like watching your favorite fighters age, man, or just fighters in general age and just not be themselves anymore is very tough to watch. And it's like something that like you really have to follow the sport decently to see like the slow decline. Like it's not always immediate. Like you don't go from like prime Tony Ferguson to end of the line Tony Ferguson quick. It's like a slow thing. You're like, you you slowly see it like like I don't know if they had it yet. That's why it's like we have to get on the pot like every after every card damn near and discuss these things because it's like as MMA like we can call ourselves like MMA journalists or whatever like covering the sport, it's like it happens so subtly. Like, oh man, like yeah, they won this fight, but I don't know, they were getting hit a lot more than they used to, and then it's like, oh man, like man, they were really huffing and puffing in round four when they've been doing hard fives their whole career, and then all of a sudden it's like, damn. they're in 3 round fights, getting huffing and puffing in round three. Damn, like damn, where's the output? They used to have output. Like it really just can go really quickly in this game, and like I'm really hoping that like Leon's not that cooked to lose to a Medic, but damn, like that would be a big win for him. Like if he could get it. I mean, he's gonna be in the ranks now, so I mean, shit, like why not shoot for the stars, you know?
Yeah, Medj is falling after Protez's footsteps. He slept Neil and then he slept Edwards. Medj is going for the same path, but yeah, that's a good point, man. Guys like Neil and Edwards back in their prime, there was just like I know they could lose, but just on the feet, like no way these guys get knocked out like this. They're just too technical, too like their chins are too good, and then they age, shit happens, and they're both on the canvas. It's just crazy. All right, let's talk about this Milky Costa fight really quick. Insane finish. I believe he's the first fighter in the UFC to finish Danny Ige, at least by knockout. A
Dude,
spinning back kick, I believe it was. Crazy.
who's the fucking chin, bro? God damn, that spinning back kick, man. John Jones putting these people on, like it's a vicious strike, and like usually it's to the body, to the liver shot, but like Ige kind of just ducked into it and just
Right in
took
the face.
figure right in the face. I felt really bad for him immediately. Um, I he protests the stoppage a little bit. I do think like it was a 50-50. Like he probably could have recovered a little bit. Like it didn't seem like I was fine in the moment when he got stopped, but then the way he didn't seem like super like out of it after that in the immediate aftermath. So it was a bad look how he kind of like cringed up and kind of like just covered up for a couple seconds, but I don't think there was that much left in the round. No,
That's I think what
like
Ige is
yeah,
most upset about.
there's
Yeah.
4 seconds left in the round. I think he could have made it 4 more seconds and made it to round two. So, um, like a little bit tough for him in terms of like him getting finished when he hadn't been previously. I feel a little bad about that, but as far as Milky goes, like hell of a win, man. Hell of an opponent, man. Like to beat, especially like big feather in his cap. Ige's been around a long time, and he's still a scrapper in there. Um, on paper, the best win of his career so far. I mean, I was impressed when he finished REA round one, but this is a little bit more impressive even. Um, I've I felt like it's kind of fucked up, but like I felt like Melky has like vitiligo and shit, and like I feel like over the course of his career, I feel like his light patch has been like expanding over time, you know, and I feel like he's rounding into his final form where he's like fully vitiligoed out and like he's a beast, bro. Cause I feel like the more white he shows up, the more fiendish he is in there, bro. I'm telling you, somehow he's going Super Saiyan, bro. He's charging up, bro. He's making his run now. I feel like he's hitting his stride. I think he's only 29 still. He's been in the UFC a long time and kind of like grown up before our eyes. And I mean, like, we see this all the time, man. Sometimes, like, guys might come in a little bit underdeveloped and like trade off losses, get some wins, some losses, but then they hit their stride, on their Charles Oliveira shit. And I mean, I feel like Melky definitely hitting his stride now. He's like not an easy out for anybody these days.
Absolutely. I loved it. It was a great finish. I thought he fought well before that finish too. Very nice kicks. The kicking game I've noticed is a lot better than it used to be, I think, throughout. And I think his wrestling and grappling has always been decent. I don't think he uses it the most, but pretty decent around. I think he's just the real deal, and he's just coming into his prime right now. And I like I said, I think he has a chance to like really climb the ladder this year. If he gets the somewhat right matchups, I do think he is a hard out for anybody. But you know, progression wise, I still need him to see what he looks like against the very tough opponents. But impressive win. Looked like my Shavkat out there when Shavkat spinning back kicked someone in the face a little bit ago, but and it was a great finish. picture perfect to the face. Like stoppage, I mean, if Ige was like moving a little bit, I would give him more slack, but he just kind of curled up into a ball. So, and that usually means you're damn near out. He clearly wasn't, but it was a bad visual, so I'm okay with the stoppage. There were 4 seconds left, but Ige was losing that fight anyway. So give my man Costa an extra 25K real quick.
Shout outs to him. And I mean, like, at featherweight, like, we've been talking about this in a couple of our past videos about like most interesting divisions and stuff, but like, there's a lot of people like in the top 15 at featherweight that need to be kind of picked off out of there, you know? It's time for like some new blood to kind of move in and take this shit over. I mean, you got Josh Emmett at 11, Brian Ortega at 10. Like, I don't like these fights for these guys against Milky these days, man. I mean, I think he could have a decent chance against Steve Garcia even. Like, I think that him and Yusuf Zalal will be a decent scrap. I think that like if I'm being honest, he probably like might be right now, like, at the number 9. Like, I think he would kind of stop at Zalal. Zalal looking kind of fiendish these days. But I mean like once you get past Zalal, it gets a little bit tough sledding. I mean, above that, but like for someone who was previously unranked, like, and I'm thinking like you can pretty confidently get all the way up to like the number 9 spot, like that's pretty impressive. So shout out Milky, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Anything else on the card, guys, before we wrap it up?
Let me see.
Heavyweights fucked. Spivak somehow the defender, the gatekeeper is crazy to me, but
How Jacoby Smith?
yeah,
Huge
Jacoby
finish.
Smith beat Josiah Harrell, like short notice opponent, man, undefeated kid, came in there, accounted well for himself, in my opinion. Didn't get ran over, but by a explosive, and hard hitting Jacoby Smith, man. The man looks like a middleweight in there. Like his back has so many muscles, and like he clearly has so much explosion. Like the man got taken down, was clearly on the bottom, and just kind of like pushed up and ended up on top. Like I was like, what a scramble! Like, and then that was like the finishing sequence of the fight. Somehow, like he just like did that, ended up on top, and then just like almost crucifix beat Harrow to death. Like it was actually one of the. It was kind of hard to watch. I was kind of like, damn. Like personally, like I would have rather like because especially because like this guy Harrow was coming in like off the street, on some like saving your payday on some short notice shit. Like maybe don't fucking hit him like 5 times after like the after you have to. Shout out like also like it's not his fucking responsibility. Ultimately, it's the ref's responsibility to get in there because he was clearly done. But like I don't know, it just was like I went from like being very happy in that moment, like oh shit, to like damn, like you should probably stop doing that. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, these guys are in there life or death, and like, when you're fighting for real, like, it's kind of hard to. It's easier as for us, the spectators, to be like, to tell what an early stoppage is, or say who was done and who wasn't. Like, I know he was done, but I mean, when you're in there, like all of that adrenaline and shit, like you gotta. I don't blame him, but it just was unfortunate that that fight didn't get stopped like 3 punches earlier, I would say. But shout out to him, man. He looks fantastic. Big things in his future. Um,
shout out Chidi and Liao. I thought that was fight of the night for sure.
Was it? Yeah.
Even though 130-27 outrageous, by the way, but I did think Liao won the fight. It was close though, I thought.
Shout out Jocelyn Edwards, man. She was kind of looking like shit, to be honest. I was really worried because I had a lot of parlays with her in it. But she got the sub in round 2. Like made it seem like it was on some never a doubt shit, but it very much was a doubt. Like Nor Corho was giving her work early. So shout out to her for that.
That
For
was
getting her shit together mid fight.
That was crazy. I believe, knocked her out from the slam, correct?
I don't know if he
Yeah,
knocked her
shout
out
out.
or she like hurt something, like an arm or something. I know what you're talking about, but
I feel like she knocked her out with the slam and then she like punched and it like woke her up low key. And that's
Yeah, because she was clearly just on the ground like fucked. You know what I mean? Like kind of like trying to go through the motions, but clearly like all defensive like technicality was out of the window. Like she got into that sub so clearly, so easy. Like she was clearly rocked. She wasn't like all there defending shit.
all right though.
And then shout out this John Paul Labazignani dude who beat Phil Rowe up on the undercard, man. He looked really impressive out there. We know Phil Rowe definitely a wily vet in there. Very durable, very like experienced in there. And I mean like the way that this John Paul guy was like throwing up subs and like in weird positions, he was trying to snatch anything he could get. And like shout out Phil Rowe from being defensively like safe, but I was like, man, like this kid kind of nasty. The way he's just like in every position hunting some type of a sub, like in the middle of scrambles and shit, like just reaching for necks, reaching for darts, like I can see like big things in this kid's future for sure. So I just want to shout him out.
they got me over 2.5, so shout out to
Hell yeah. And fucking shout out Jordan Levitt, man. Featherweight Levitt just absolutely like looks strong as shit down there for some reason. He's never been a guy that I like believed was very strong. I didn't think that he was gonna have a power advantage, like a strength advantage, even going down, but like he proved me wrong, man. He's a little bit more interesting at featherweight. I always thought he was a little undersized at lightweight. Like you can kind of bully him around if you like have like equal grappling skill, but like he's kind of very strong at featherweight. So I mean like he's a little bit I don't want to say like a prospect to keep their eye on, but like I am a lot more interested in what he can kind of potentially do. Like I can't just bet against him every time I see him these days now that he's at featherweight because what he just did was very impressive.
All right, though, guys, that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching and the recent support on our recent videos. Please go check out the TikTok. We always got fun stuff on there, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.